One of the most important things you can do for your dog is making sure that you're taking care of their teeth. And in order to have good oral care for your dogs, you're going to have to desensitize them to some of the sensations and things they're going to be going through while you're brushing their teeth or checking their teeth, both for you as the owner and for your vet as they are going to be taking care of your dog. So making sure that you desensitize them is incredibly important. And it starts from the moment you bring your new dog into your house, be it a puppy or a dog that you are adopting at an older age. Making sure that you are teaching them how to trust you and how to communicate with you while you are dealing with their oral care is incredibly important. So for me, I made sure from the moment I brought my new dogs into my house, I was playing with their faces. I had my fingers over their lips. I lifted up their lips. I would touch their teeth. I would touch their tongue. I trained my dogs so that I would be able to take things out of their mouth, including food, at any given time. So I made sure my dogs understood it's not scary when mommy touches your face. It's not a problem when mommy's lifting your lips, opening your mouth, looking in there, doing things in your mouth. That is something that is okay, and that is something that is actually a good bonding experience for us. Now, if you're doing this with a puppy, be aware you're probably going to have those little needle shark teeth coming at you. If you're doing this with an older dog that you have not had since they were a puppy, you got to be a little bit careful with this one. You do not want to bring a brand new dog into the house with trauma that you do not know about and immediately stick your hands in their mouth. So there is a process of building that trust first with a dog that you are adopting at an older age. And there's just the awareness that you're probably going to get nibbled on if you're dealing with a puppy. So you want to make sure you're very simply going over their face. And this can be just sitting on the couch, hanging out with them, playing with them, touching their face, just nicely petting their cheeks, nicely petting their head, their nose, just their entire face. You want to be actively touching. While you're playing games, also be touching their face. Make sure that they understand the sensation of having your fingers on their face and that it is associated with a good thing. The older that they get, the more that you do this, the more you can sit there and actually kind of play with your dog. I am one of those people that from the moment I bring a puppy into my house, I am training them to be child-proof. So if there are little kids around and they are touching my dog, playing with their ears, playing with their fur, maybe even pulling on their fur, my dogs have been child-proofed. They're very, very comfortable with me laying on them, touching them, other people touching them, so that we're not going to have any issues with children when they are exposed to those kids. Likewise, those are also going to play into good oral care because it's all the same, like poking and prodding and playing with them to make sure that they understand this is expected. Mommy is going to open your mouth sometimes. Vets are going to open your mouth sometime, and you are going to be well behaved when we do this. So I am constantly touching mouths. I am constantly pulling out their cheeks. I'm grabbing their tongue. Sometimes that's when we play. Sometimes if they're licking my hand, I'll grab their tongue as a little game. It's kind of fun, but they treat it as something fun, so it's then easier to do. From there, you are going to have to start to build up what you're going to put in your dog's mouth, because if you are going to be brushing their teeth, there are different things that we're going to build up to. Now, I have done a video on how I went through a progression of toothbrushes for my dog. So I didn't start out with a normal toothbrush. I actually started out with wipes, and then I moved on to different types of toothbrushes. And there was an evolution to it to get to the point where I could use a normal toothbrush, which I find to be the best tool for cleaning their teeth. Some of the others do not work as well, but building up the process made it so much easier and conditioned them to be desensitized to a lot of those things to allow me to get to the point where I could actively use that toothbrush and make it easier on brushing their teeth. So I will link that down below for you. You can watch that video. But I started by putting things in their mouths. And that can even be putting their toys in their mouth. If you were just handing them toys, if you're kind of moving things around, that's part of the process of desensitizing to having things inside of their mouth. And so we are going to work with toys. You're going to work with your hands. You're going to work with treats, longer treats, things that are going to be a little bit bulkier and not eaten right away. And that is going to help condition them and desensitize them to those sensations. From there, you, of course, are going to put other things in their mouth. I do like the idea of starting with a tooth wipe. It's like a plaque wipe, and they don't really do much for cleaning your dog's teeth, but my goodness, they help with their breath. I very much like those minty plaque wipes for helping with dealing with puppy breath or dog breath. It's just a nice little thing to do, and it kind of wipes away some of that excess as well, especially if your dog's picking things up from outside. Then you can build up to some of those smaller toothbrushes to the larger toothbrushes. And if you are going to, of course, be using something out of the ordinary, you're going to have to start exposing them to it in smaller increments. So I didn't immediately shove a toothbrush in my dog's mouth. I did show them, and I would show them a couple of days in a row so that they could get used to it. I let them sniff it. So they would come up to whatever toothbrush version I was using, and I would let them explore it. They would sniff around in my hand as I was holding it. They might lick it a little bit. They might nose it with their nose. I let them determine how quickly we were going to do this. And then from there, I would touch it to their face. So after sniffing, it would be touching to their face and kind of moving it around. I might touch it to their face and pull out their lip, and then I would work up from there. So just slow movements, gentle movements, touching it, then lifting while I'm touching it, then maybe lifting and putting it in just a little bit to kind of scrub just a little bit of their teeth so they understand those sensations. And then I built it up so that they were not fearful of it. So little increments day after day, and this can take a couple of weeks for this process, you can build it up to get those toothbrushes into their mouth so that you can actually clean all of their teeth. So you might want to start just with those little side teeth. Their canines are usually a pretty good place to start, maybe a little bit in the front, then work your way to the back. It's scarier the further back it goes. So if you just kind of brush in the front a little bit, it's not quite as bad as putting it all the way in the back. So building it up day after day is going to help you. You can just put these toothbrushes in their mouth and kind of move them around a little bit until they're comfortable with it. Then you can add in toothpaste. You want to find something that's going to taste good to your dog. I do recommend a charcoal mint. That is what I am using, and that has worked really well for us. Some of the other ones are way scented, and I'm allergic, and my dogs are allergic, and it's just not fun. So I like the mint version ones, and the charcoal seems to work really well. I will link that down below for you. But you're going to build up with the sensation of the toothpaste, and then you're going to get to the point where you can actually brush their teeth in a full capacity. It is going to take a little bit of time for you to navigate them understanding what a toothbrush is, that it's going in their mouth, that it's going to be brushing over their teeth, their gums, the roof of their mouth is really important, and their tongue, to make sure that you are getting all of those things. And you don't have to start with a full mouth brushing. I just started with my teeth, and then when they were okay with that, I would do the roof of their mouth, and then when they're okay with both of those things, then I would add in the tongue, and we built it out to where we were getting the entire mouth clean. And it was a simple process, but it did take a little bit of time. And then of course you go through the iterations of toothbrushes. I will link that video down below for you. Start small and you build up to the normal toothbrush, which is what I think is the most effective for cleaning those teeth and getting them nice and clean and taken care of. But drop your questions on desensitizing your dogs to certain things so that you can go on car rides, so that you can swim with your dogs, so that you can brush their teeth and groom them and all of those things. We're going to talk about how I desensitize my dogs for many of the dogs that I have. I haven't had a ton of dogs, but I have throughout the course of my life owned quite a few pups. And I have been able to desensitize them so that I can take care of them entirely by myself without any stress. So drop your questions down below, follow along for more. Go through the toothbrush episodes. I cannot recommend them enough if you're going to be taking care of your dog's oral care, which you absolutely should be doing. And I will continue to drop daily videos to help you navigate the world of dog parenthood, to help you level up for your pup and give them the best life possible with the least amount of stress on you. So we'll see you in tomorrow's episode.